So I'm in the car now, but this vlog won't be only me in the car and won't be only with this cinematic lens here. I'll be sharing with you some tips how to use your action camera to get the max out of it, especially if you are vlogging, because this is basically what my channel is about. And I wanted to show you this in multiple cases, multiple scenarios. So let us start. Hello everyone, I hope you're all good and welcome back to my channel. If you haven't been here before, I'm Photorabs. I'm a portrait photographer here in France, and I make content about action cams, vlogging kits, and anything related to cameras actually. So if you're interested in these topics, I highly appreciate if you go subscribe to my channel. That's a massive help. And actually I'm making this video just as an extra content related to my previous ones. I made one that I called it cinematic, and I explained why in the next video and why I prefer automatic settings on my cameras. But actually, of course, being able to manipulate all the manual settings is quite interesting. And of course, you cannot only rely on the camera to expose for use. You have to do some tweaks from time to time. But if you are riding your car, for example, like this, and you cannot reach the camera, you cannot change the settings, you want the camera to understand what you want exactly. So you have to learn the camera, or you have to give the camera just like a starting point so the camera can run and can give you the look that you want. For this section, I'm using the cinematic lens. You can see this like very large view here of me in the car, which is nice. It's not a wide angle lens, but just the aspect ratio is interesting, and this is what we see normally on the big screens. This is why I called it cinematic. It was not about the settings, it was not about the manual modes. It's about just the aspect ratio, to be honest, and how you want to tell your story, how you want to frame your shot within this aspect ratio, because this is a new one and this guy here is a complete idiot. Anyway, so in this video I'm going to test several lenses for Insta360 on this acepro 2, and of course I'll be showing you some settings. Now, for example, I'm shooting in 4K 25 because this is my timeline, this is how I work. But I set the shutter speed to automatic. I set the ISO maximum 800, so you can set that on your Insta360 acepro 2, and the exposure compensation to -0.3, and I'm not using face priority because I want you to see what's happening also in the background. If I use the face priority, the background will be so bright because the camera needs to brighten my face. But we have enough light coming in so you can see me, and with the exposure compensation -0.3, that will handle this very well, and the sharpness is set to medium. This is what I like on the Insta360 acepro 2. On DJI, for example, I set the texture to -2 because I feel it's so sharp as an image, so I have to take it down a little bit. But here, this sharpness to medium is quite nice. And again, I set it this way without the face priority, even though I'm vlogging, just so you can see what's happening outside. And this is quite interesting, especially with this kind of field of view, with this kind of like aspect ratio. It's quite interesting in my opinion. But as I said, this video won't be only in the car, so let's go to the other section. And by the way, I was shooting in standard color profile without stabilization. Even now, when the camera is fixed, I'm not using stabilization. So sometimes in the car I use the stabilization to stabilize a little bit the footage, but I found out that you don't need to have that stabilization if you are well mounted, or if you mounted your camera very well in the car. You can of course add it, but well, for me it worked. I don't know, let me know what do you think. Now, by the way, when the camera is standing still, no need at all for that stabilization. But once again, it depends on what you are shooting and how you can reach to the camera to change some settings. But if you know that you are filming in these conditions, you know, there is no need at all for that. In this section here, I'm going to do a vlog test, again with this cinematic lens from Insta360. The only thing that I changed on the camera is the EV. In the car, it was minus 0.3, just to be able to have or to retain some of the exposure from outside of the car. But here in this section, I'm using EV 0, but I'm using standard stabilization. So the camera will find the best exposure for the shot, and it will handle the stabilization in a good way. So later on, I will try some other lenses instead of this cinematic one. And this is what it looks with the macro lens, and I set the camera a bit further away from me so I can like have the perfect distance. So what do you think? And this is when I set the camera real close to me with the macro lens set to the close focus distance. Well, once again, this is a very good lens, but I don't feel that I'll be vlogging with it. I just switched to this wide angle lens because this one I think is my favorite one from all of these new lenses for this camera. First, it looks nice. The second thing is that you can have a huge amount here, even if you are stabilizing your footage, which will crop a lot. But this one is quite nice. And again, for these kind of vlogs, these are the settings. And keep in mind, if you are shooting with these settings, with these semi-automatic settings, you cannot activate the face exposure because the camera cannot change how it is exposing, because you are forcing it to expose in a specific way. So once again, this can be good if you know what you are doing, and if you know the settings, if you master these settings, if you master this kind of stuff. The field of view is very nice, even though I'm in mega field of view. So imagine if I go wider. Let's try. This is ultra field of view. Looks nice as well, but I prefer the mega field of view. Just my preferences. I just forget to mention that whenever you are changing these lenses on the acepro 2, I highly recommend you to go to the menu settings and to change the lens that you are using from the menu, so the camera will understand better what is being used. Of course, if you put any glass, you can still record, but it's better to go there to change that. That will be perfect. And also, I found out, which is, I don't know if it was before, but this aspect ratio, you can use it with all the lenses, not only with this cinematic, but it was unlocked with this one. And now I can use it even if I'm using some other lenses. And that's something really nice because I liked it. I don't know. It feels wide enough, not too much, giving this like immersive kind of feel. Personally, I like it a lot. And that can give your footage some different perspectives, which is really nice. It started to rain. Well, it's been raining for a while now, and it will not stop for the rest of the day. So yeah, that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed this one. I hope you write me your comments, your thoughts, your concerns about the settings that I used. What do you think works better? For example, now I am still at minus 0.3 EV. So just we can see a little bit what's happening outside. and I'm still in manual exposure. I mean, the ISO is still like in the beginning limited to 800. You can go up, of course, and this camera can handle these noises a little bit better than the competition. But yeah, I prefer shooting this way. These are my settings, and if you noticed, I switched many scenes and I still have somehow the basic settings. Once again, I'm shooting now with the stabilization off. That gives me a little bit of wider field of view, even in this mode here, in this cinematic or this like mode. But yeah, this is something that personally I like. I know that lots of times I made videos with stabilization in the car because I need to see those flickering in the background. I need to show you that because basically these cameras are made to be used in automatic mode. Of course, once again, if you know what you are doing, if you know the gear that you have, you can get great results. Of course, I can go and shoot in iLog, I can shoot in flat, I can shoot in any color profile. But for me, even if I like many color profiles of this camera, but I still prefer this standard one. Yeah, for me it looks nice. It's not a cinema camera, it's not the FX3, FX6, FX30, it's not these kind of cameras, you know. But you can enjoy recording, you can enjoy making stuff and keeping this camera, well, whether in fully automatic or you can just tweak some settings and let the camera decide. So you can just basically limit the settings where the camera is allowed to go, you know. So that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed this video, and yeah, if so, don't forget to hit like, to subscribe, to ring the bell so you'll not miss any upcoming posts on my channel. Today, Anti-Gravity finally released the A1, so I'll be editing this one probably tonight. So the A1 was released. I'm really hoping to get my hands on one of them, especially because I'm going to Lebanon for the holidays. I can fly wherever I want. That will be great. So let's see if Anti-Gravity will hit me up with one A1. That will be perfect. So thanks for watching, guys. If you'd like me to test the A1, let me see that in the comments. That might motivate the Anti-Gravity to contact me. And ciao for now. Bye.